Give me that. Butler would make his presence known throughout. Steal leads to a 2-on-1. Kendrick Nunn gives it back to Butler. Butler would finish with 7 points and 3 steals in the first quarter. Miami had an early lead. Casey Akpala. Nice finish. Miami would head into the break with a 3-point lead. But Vucevic and the Magic aren't going to go away. He buries that 3, and Orlando now leads by 3. He'd hit 5 threes and have 17 points in the quarter as Orlando builds a 4-point lead. More threes for Orlando. Terrence Ross, all 3 of these, and the Magic back on top by 2. Ensuing Miami possession. Corner 3, Andre Iguodala, the vet, puts the Heat up 1. Final seconds, Magic down 3. And Butler with the steal, and he finishes 2 of his 29, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, 5 steals. And the Heat win this one by 5. The Magic have dropped 8 in a row. Campus tour, women's conference tournaments around the land. Kim Mulkey.
Floor in advance of the dance. All that and more as we get up with you. Top of the hour right here on ESPN.
Greedy, thank you much. Punching tickets around women's college basketball on Sunday. Big 12 Women's Championship game. 1 seed Baylor, 2 seed West Virginia. Third quarter, Alyssa Smith gets the pass at the rim, gets the off-balance shot to fall, and 1. Nice finish. Baylor up 14 after the free throw. Fourth quarter, the lead is 12. Queen Egbo going right and banks in the short jumper, sealing it for Baylor. Egbo, 18 points, 11 boards. Baylor wins to claim the Big 12 title for the 11th time, David Lloyd.
Okay, let's go to the Southland Conference Women's Final. Stephen F. Austin taking on Sam Houston State. Zion Nugent, corner 3, rattles home. Stephen F. Austin by 7. They led by 5 last minute. Ayanna Johnson drives off the window, and Stephen F. Austin wins 56-45, undefeated in conference play. They're dancing. That's the Ted Lasso right there. It's all good there. Tonight on ESPN, we'll have the exclusive live announcement of the 64-team NCAA Women's Championship field. Breakdown every team, every matchup, every region at 7 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Continuing coverage on ESPNU at 8 Eastern. Meanwhile, the men's field is set. Here's Reese Davis and our College Game Day crew.
These are the 1 seeds for the tournament. All of these teams have combined for 1 national championship, Michigan in 1989. On the other hand, first 4 matchup between Michigan State and UCLA, 13 of those babies all time. So it shows you a little bit of the nature of the tournament. The season's been erratic. What's your biggest takeaway from the bracket you've seen so far?
I think Gonzaga has a great draw as a number 1 seed. I think there's no easy path to the Final Four, but I like their draw to the Final Four. I think Michigan has the hardest of the number 1 seeds, and I thought Oklahoma State was seeded too low, and they got a really rough draw. And not that they can't play their way out of it, because they can. They're really good, but I don't like the draw that they got.
Yeah, I think the East is the toughest draw. You think about 3 conference champions, teams that are coming in at a high. Now, Alabama obviously playing at a very high level, but if you look at that draw, Michigan, a little beat up with Isaiah Livers potentially out. I look at that draw as being the toughest, and I think Baylor has a really nice route to the Final Four. Baylor coming off a tough loss, but I don't think we can evaluate Baylor just on the Big 12 tournament because the Big 12 is just so competitive. You're going to lose games. So Baylor with a nice trip down to the Final Four. I think that the East is the toughest bracket.
Yeah, for a non-number 1 seed, I think Florida State has a easier path to actually get to a Final Four in the East bracket, especially with Michigan without Isaiah Livers. So, yeah, we got Florida State getting to the Final Four.
All right, so and maybe if Florida State gets to the Final Four, this could continue another historical trend. The Big Ten got multiple number 1 seeds. Third time that's happened. They didn't win the national championship any of those times. Haven't won the national championship in 20 years or 21 years since Michigan State did it. The times that the Big Ten did get multiple number 1 seeds, ACC team cut down the net.
Wow.
Florida State, anyone?
Yeah.
Georgia Tech?
Yes.
Virginia?
Come on.
How about Gonzaga? According to Caesars William Hill, the Zags with the shortest odds to win the NCAA tournament this year at plus 200. They're looking to cap off the first perfect season in D1 since Indiana in 1976. Baylor, Illinois, and Michigan also have less than 10-1 odds to win the title.
And David, Sunday marked 15 years to the day that Drew Brees signed a 6-year, $60 million contract with the New Orleans Saints, just a few months removed from a serious injury to his throwing shoulder that had many questioning his future. Brees announcing his retirement yesterday, finishing his career as the NFL's all-time leader in passing yards. His shoulder worked out fine. New Orleans native Stan Verrett looking back on Brees' legacy both on and off the field.
In times of tragedy and in times like this, people look to, whatever they can to try to lift their spirits. And I think for a lot of people that is Saints football. And what a great opportunity it was for me to be here as a quarterback, but not only that, but as a person in this community to help in that process.
It's 2006, a year after Hurricane Katrina rocked New Orleans. The city was still a mess, and so was Drew Brees' throwing shoulder. At their lowest points, they needed each other, and their union would produce a story of resilience and determination that would take them to heights neither had experienced before. But the road was rocky at times. 3 straight 7-9 seasons tested the patience of even the most devoted Houdads.
We've got a strong fan base here. They're frustrated. They want to see us do well, and they grow impatient just like we do.
It's just not happening for us right now, but it will turn. You just have to believe and stay the course.
But it all came together in year 4, winning the franchise's first and only Super Bowl, with Brees also winning Super Bowl MVP.
The New Orleans Saints have won their first Super Bowl championship.
That night 11 years ago in Miami forever changed the perception of the franchise and of Brees. He retires as the most important athlete in New Orleans history. A leader, a motivator, an inspiration, a champion, and a record holder.
Drops back, looks to the far sideline, wide open. Drew Brees has done it.
Give me that. Butler would make his presence known throughout. Steal leads to a 2-on-1. Kendrick Nunn gives it back to Butler. Butler would finish with 7 points and 3 steals in the first quarter. Miami had an early lead. Casey Akpala. Nice finish. Miami would head into the break with a 3-point lead. But Vucevic and the Magic aren't going to go away. He buries that 3, and Orlando now leads by 3. He'd hit 5 threes and have 17 points in the quarter as Orlando builds a 4-point lead. More threes for Orlando. Terrence Ross, all 3 of these, and the Magic back on top by 2. Ensuing Miami possession. Corner 3, Andre Iguodala, the vet, puts the Heat up 1. Final seconds, Magic down 3. And Butler with the steal, and he finishes 2 of his 29, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, 5 steals, and the Heat win this one by 5. The Magic have dropped 8 in a row. Campus tour, women's conference tournaments around the land. Kim Mulkey